mind-blowing conference so far. And I'm going to hand over the fourth session back to Vijay.
Thank you, Fahmida. Thank you, Narele. Thank you, Hazel. All these Kathy, all these powerful women all around the world. Let me open this session, the fourth session, with my personal belief that it's women only, womenhood, motherhood is the only thing which is working as an eye opener for humanity on the earth. Therefore, there is no one, including Almighty, who can challenge women power, womenhood, and motherhood. Okay, coming back to the session. So, ladies, we have got Monifa, we have got Charu, we have got Sarah, and we would welcome Monifa. Let me just introduce Monifa. With She is a transformation expert, leadership coach, advisor, corporate trainer, speaker, and author. We have got so many authors here, and I'm truly impressed. And International Academy of Entrepreneurship and Employability is determined to write books, determined to create knowledge bank, knowledge power, along with more with women than with men. Let me be blunt and frank to the world. Okay, so Monifa, I'm sure under the Herrington publication, under the aegis of Herrington publication, under the leadership of Hazel, all of us together, we are going to write books, knowledge sharing, etc., etc. So it is not, so she is, and she's also a spiritual leader. So over to you, Monifa. So please enlighten us, please. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Please stick to the time, ma'am. Please stick to the time. Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Vijay. And thank you so much, Hazel and Herrington Publications, for having me on board with all of these phenomenal women. You know, the theme of Lady America's Power is barriers and bias, the status of women in leadership. And so often this topic focuses primarily on external barriers, as it should, but tonight, I'm going to present it from a different angle, a slight twist. And I don't want to minimize the external challenges that women experience. However, I do want to highlight some of the internal challenges that present themselves as obstacles that we so often gloss over. So as I begin to move forward, I want you to remember this one thing, golden nugget number one. Vision is more than visual. Have you ever wondered why you can't seem to go beyond where you are? Here's a clue. You will never get past what you see until you get past what you see. You see, as founder and CEO of Within Your Reach, I've coached women leaders, corporate women, entrepreneurs, and provided corporate trainings. And there's always one question that comes up. Why am I stuck? You know, why can't I get beyond this place? What's keeping me from breaking through these barriers? What's keeping me from reaching my professional and personal goals? What's keeping me from moving forward in my entrepreneurial adventures? And while there are many reasons that I can offer, many times when these leaders come to me and ask me these questions, I ask them this: do you have eagle vision? And oftentimes they look at me funny and they're like, are you serious? What are you talking about? And I say, do you have eagle vision? And when I say eagle vision, keep in mind, to me, vision is much more than creating a business plan and hiring the right people to execute that plan. It's much more than the company's mission statement. When I talk about eagle vision, I'm talking about the barometer you use, the gauge that you use as to whether or not you are simply operating within the basic realm or whether or not you exceed the status quo. I teach this in my book entitled Eagle Vision. You know, eagles are exceptional creatures. Most of the time, to be honest, people operate in a very basic manner. Most people do not exceed the status quo. Most people go to work so they can get paid. so they can pay bills, and they repeat the cycle all over again. Most people are not taking the necessary steps to catapult their careers to the next level, yet they complain about where they are. If you are interested in excelling and exceeding the status quo, if you're interested in tearing down barriers, you must have eagle vision. Oftentimes I advise my clients and I let them know, I'm not just interested in your gross revenue. While that's important, what's also important to me is your personal net worth. So what does that mean? Everything that I do has a self-awareness component to it. So here's golden nugget number 2. You can have a multi-million-dollar business, but if you do not have eagle vision, you are operating at a deficit. I learned this firsthand. I've learned that if the insight that I have into my own life is lacking, then I am of limited value to others. Golden nugget number 3. When I talk about eagle vision, I do believe it's extremely vital to have a vision for your business. But the vision will always be limited if the lens to your own soul is cloudy. There are distractions in the world. Oftentimes, those distractions are external. Competition, family members, friends, but sometimes the distraction is you. Did I say that? Yes, I said it. Sometimes the distraction is you. Sometimes we are our own barrier. If you ever allow doubt, fear, anxiety, worry, comparison to keep you from moving forward, then you have been your own distraction. True vision is about keeping the end in mind from the beginning. True vision is about learning how to manage those distractions effectively. If you're interested in excelling, if you're interested in exceeding the status quo, especially during times of crisis, like this pandemic, you must have eagle vision. You see, there's a quote that says, eyes that look are common, but eyes that see are rare. And most people have the ability to look. They have the ability to fixate their eyes on something particular, but very few people have the ability to see. That very few people have the ability to have foresight and insight into something. One of the most prominent characteristics of the eagle is that their eye is stated to be larger in size than their brain when you're talking about the weight of the brain. And this reminds me so much of why we sometimes see people that seem to have far less talent go farther. And it's because of what they can see. It's what they can see in themselves. It's what they can see in their dreams. You can be the smartest person out there, but if you do not have drive, if you do not have discipline, if you do not have vision, you will not get very far. So I encourage you to take an introspective look and determine whether or not you have the vision of an eagle. And once you do this, I can almost guarantee you, you will find that the doors of opportunity available to you will become much greater in proportion.
Monifa, time. Thank you. Thank you, Monifa. It was indeed a enlightening pleasure connecting your thoughts with what Fahmida was talking about. And Fahmida, for your kind information, that unknown philosopher was Vijay Srivastava. Perhaps now we are known to each other. Okay. So
Yes.
now over to, we are going to have our second speaker. However, at the end of the session, unfortunately, I have got the third speaker. Sarah happens to be the one who is going to give us a solution about conflict. Imagine. So that's such a beautiful coincidence for me to close this complete panel and the session with an expert who is going to give us a solution of this conflict between biases and barriers. So over to Charu. Here we go with Charu, who happens to be one of those leading coaches keynote speakers, and of course, she also seems to be an author. Okay, so Charu, over to you to enlighten us. And at the end of the session, we would have one or two questions floated to all these three, four ladies to be answered to the audience and to the lady speakers. Thank you, Monifa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vijay, for introducing me. I'm so charged up right now. So many thoughts are coming. But yes, I will love to start on the topic which I want to share today. I want to speak today on how power of digital media can be used to empower women, to improve the status of women in leadership. Despite record-breaking numbers of women elected to public office trends and increasing public attention around the topic, gender equality remains underrepresented in leadership roles across industries. What are the reasons? Old stereotypes of traits associated with leadership, thought of masculine and not viewed positively when women display it. So change in mindset is required, and how digital media can play a role is by generating more content, creating awareness about leadership in women, and thus changing the mindset of both men and women related to women leadership. Second point, fewer connections. Men are still ahead than women in networking. Finding mentors and tribes. Virtual networks need to be created, bringing women leaders from different parts of the world, working towards common goal of creating subgroups within their countries. They can share their knowledge and work towards changing the mindset for networking. Lack of flexibility is the other point which I want to highlight. Women are multitaskers and have to balance family and work. Time management is really demanding for women, and they definitely need better way to manage time. Thus, women need to unite to learn from each other what's helping everybody. Networks need to be created where such knowledge sharing sessions are regularly happening, where everybody is sharing what has helped them. Knowledge is power, friends, and applied knowledge is superpower, I always say. Mindset training needs to be provided to women in every sector to empower her with growth mindset skills. Media should generate content which empowers women for their health and leadership excellence. Support will be from their partners, which should be happening regularly, who can equally contribute in taking care of the family. Again, digital media is there to help by providing such trainings to both men and women in every sector. Perhaps women tend to use less assertive tactics when seeking promotions out of concern. They could encounter gender bias. Perhaps a lifetime of socialization that has taught women to seek perfection in themselves can also make professional women more averse to take risks. Sometimes back, I read beautiful lines in IPS Newsnet by Farouz Ahmad. A girl has many roles. She can be a daughter, a mother, a friend, a wife, or a sister. But her first and foremost introduction is a person, a human, and a voice, no matter what remote or accessible parts she may belong to. Her story is unique and belongs only to her own. And if a thought-provoking, positive platform echo her voice, it can achieve wonders. At Women Lines, which I'm running at present, an online magazine, which is listed in top 50 women's online magazine, we strongly believe that every woman on this planet is blessed with some amazing power. We are using power of digital media to empower women globally. Experts from different parts of the globe are sharing their knowledge of health, leadership, and business excellence. We are running talk shows, panel discussions, interviews to get those strategies by women leaders who have already achieved success. And those strategies should be reaching out to other women who can apply it in their life. We are on the mission of shaping physically and mentally healthy women who are professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs across the globe to live a better version of self while contributing towards making our planet a better place to live. So yes, friends, what can help and how you can use power of digital media with power of choice to empower yourself. Use digital media to voice your expertise. At Women Lines, we are providing platforms to women to share their thoughts in guest columns so their voices can reach to a global audience. We need to learn how to use social media platforms actively, especially LinkedIn, which is a blessing to all professional women. Start networking globally is the other point I want to highlight. Less developed female leadership networks is one of the major barriers in women leadership, I strongly believe. Have a growth mindset. Collaborate for projects. After 3 years of putting my heart and soul in women's lives and interviewing and networking globally with women from across the globe, I strongly can say we all are same. We all are connected with each other with a human bond, and women particularly connect much better. So why not use this to empower ourselves and grow together? There are groups like Women Circles, Women Chapters, Driven Women, and many other organizations who are working towards bringing women under one umbrella. Go for those networks and work together. And third point, regularly upskill yourself through digital media. We have to remain students forever. Technology is changing, my friends, and at fast pace it is happening. Every day new topic is there which we have to learn about. Become a student forever. And for every topic, there's some influencer who is sharing the knowledge. That's for free. It's all upon us how we are regularly working upon upgrading our skill. The other point which I want to highlight is the way you can support the cause you want to help. For examples like hashtag He for She campaign, started by United Nations and United Nations Women in 2014, is a solidarity movement for the advancement of gender equality. The goal of this movement was, and still is, to invite people of all genders to stand as a united force with women to work towards closing the gender gap. The campaign involved nearly 1.2 billion people from around the world, friends, including prominent actors such as Emma Watson, Annie Hathaway, and many others. And the other campaign which I want to highlight is Pink Stinks. Toys, clothes, and media are all guilty of sending negative and damaging messages to girls. Pink Stinks empowers girls and women by running targeted campaigns via social media, videos to raise awareness to gender stereotyping and challenging the companies responsible. The birth of digital media has brought so many opportunities for women to celebrate their talents, ideas, skills, and creativity in almost every field, and especially in trade and commerce. They can be more capable of accepting challenges and giving a tough competition to their male counterparts like never before. They can be now more empowered to raise their voice and more confident to move up and rise. So friends, just few pointers I want to end with. Always navigate yourself fully and know your why. Build your dreams. See, you are having your morning rituals and be regular with it. Journaling, meditation, day planning, energy planning, and activating your happy hormones. We have to be very particular how we are taking care of our health. That's very important. Get mindful about your minutes. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. Time management is the key. Collaborate with others globally and do global networking. And yes, friends, likes are like virtual hugs. Always love to support your women tribe. We need more women leaders like Angela Merkel, Melinda Gates, Oprah Winfrey, Sheryl Sandberg, Indra Nooyi. So yes, we need more female leadership programs which can offer professional women and entrepreneurs supportive communities that can allow them to network with others familiar with the unique challenges they are facing. Such programs can give professional women greater insights into issues. And mentorship and sponsorship programs can be vital to professional women and entrepreneurs wanting to move ahead in their careers. Mentors can share the tricks they have learned along the way and model successful approaches. Overcoming barriers to women in leadership calls for effective communication and career development. So yes, friends, I will end my share with a quote. All one needs is a computer, a network connection, and a bright spark of initiative and creativity to join the economy by Dawn Tapsmart. It was a pleasure sharing my points, and thanks, Hazel, so much for giving us this platform and opportunity to share insights. And I'm so much looking forward to work with all of you and yes, to collaborate together and work together to make this planet a better place.
Thank you,
so much.
Charu. Thanks a lot. Thank you. So eventually at the end of the life of each one of us, we are going to have only three things surviving on this earth. First is humanity, H. Second is A, Almighty. And third is technology, which is leading towards what you spoke about. So technology, social media marketing, digital marketing is going to play a very important role in bringing in or eliminating, controlling, mitigating all those biases and barriers of which we are trying to work together. Okay, so thanks a lot, Charu. Now we have got a lady with us who happens to be conflict strategist, mediator, corporate trainer, media commentator, TEDx speaker, helping us to find hope when confusion, culture, and conflict overwhelms. So, Sarah, it's all for you. Please take your 8 minutes time and post that. I would like to pose on certain questions to the panel so that from there, Hazel Herrington takes over to close this complete event wherein each one of you have been mind blowing. And it has been such a beautiful, rich experience for a layman, for a fool, for a like say, uneducated professional like me. But it has been a great honor, ladies. Thank you. Sarah, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much. And no pressure as a last speaker. I'm going to go off my talk a little bit because I want to try to bring it all together, right? I have been inspired by the energy of you in this room and the messages, and I hear some common themes that have emerged in our talking. So I'm going to share what I'm hearing because I think it's important to capture. I'm hearing the words elevation, education, empowerment, collaboration, and change. These messages are weaved across the globe and through all of us. And I don't know about you, but I feel my goosebumps on my arms as I think about our collective capacity to influence change. What we're talking about today when we reflect on the status of women in leadership is about power. And it's about our willingness or not to share power. It's our willingness or not to be able to engage in that dialogue and how we manage and use that power as we shape the world around us. And we each have a choice to make as we navigate our own leadership roles. Power can be influenced from outside, but it's also influenced from inside. And we've heard about those barriers and challenges external and those barriers and challenges internally. And when we are faced with these moments of making a choice, we can choose to allow others to diminish our power. We can choose to blame or have a fight. But there is an alternative. You can choose to turn these barriers and biases into opportunities. As we navigate our leadership roles, which are a lifelong journey, there is no destination in sight because those of us in leadership know that it is a hard, ongoing path we take and we choose. But we can choose what we do with this negativity and we can choose to turn it around. The thing that gets in our way so often as we're learning is our mindset. Too often we wait for other people to fix these problems for us. We want somebody to blame, or perhaps we're waiting for a cause or that perfect rainbow moment that, okay, now is the time. Let me tell you, as a conflict strategist, those perfect moments rarely arrive. Life is messy. Life is confusing. All of these messiness and confusing moments can throw you off balance. But when we make an active choice and shift our mindset, we say to ourselves and we take our own power back. We will no longer let these barriers and bias define who we are. In fact, they just become a part of our story. And in owning them, we have the capacity to shape and change them. We are defining who we are as we move forward. Owning it enables us to have those difficult conversations. Because when we are challenging the power status, it's a time of confusion. It's a time of flux. It's confronting, and it will be hard and painful. Change doesn't happen without those moments of pain. It's what makes the end product so beautiful at the end. So in defining our own sense of power and worth, we are saying to ourselves that there is hope, that we are striving towards something better and something different. I want to encourage all of you in your leadership journeys and in how you empower and elevate and uplift others around you to lean into those hard conversations. Because when we choose not to blame others, we're not saying that it's okay, these barriers and bias. What we're saying is, hey, they're there and they exist. But let's talk about them. Let's problem solve together. Let's say, hey, this matters to me. And clearly it matters to you, but we need to understand it together if we are to create change. See, the difference there is that we're owning a mutuality in this journey. But in changing our own mindset, we also remain and retain our capacity to own our own story. This isn't a fight. This isn't about it's everyone else's fault. This is looking inside and saying, you do not define me, I define me. I am responsible for my own future. And in doing so, I'm creating pathways for those that come before me and those that come after me. We want to help make it easier so they don't have to carry the depth of pain that we ourselves have probably confronted. As we travel this path of leadership as women changing the globe, there's 4 things that I want to share with you. Change begins with making a choice to recognize, to step up and to say, I want to contribute. The second thing is to have vision. We cannot create change. We cannot weather the storms of change and conflict if we don't know what we're striving towards. Your clarity of vision helps you hold your ship steady. But it's not just about understanding and mindset. You have to be willing to take bold, brave action, putting it into practice. The 4th point is, and we sometimes miss this as women, we need to be okay with being uncomfortable. It's okay that things aren't perfect. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to allow that pressure to fill you and overwhelm you. Being uncomfortable is really normal. And it's in this discomfort, these hard conversations that we track through and pathway towards change. We can't create change if we don't talk about these hard and painful things. As we as women look to inspire and support and uplift those around us, we need to retain hope. Hope in ourselves, owning our own power. No one else can give us hope but ourselves. And that will help you be brave and change the world. In holding your own hope, you can collaborate, you can change, and you can celebrate. And we need that as a world. We need to be able to listen and celebrate who it is to be a woman in leadership. Thank you, everyone, for today.
So, Sarah, it was mind-blowing in terms of understanding about this conflict resolution, building in own confidence, etc. And of course, there are ways forward wherein we will have you with us with the complete gamut of our leadership team of women leaders to work together towards this, towards women empowerment, emancipation, equality. So now, last but not least, I'll just take a few minutes to leave all you ladies with some of these questions, and thereafter I'll hand it over to Hazel Herrington to close the complete event. So, are these biases and barriers natural or human artifacts? Is it intergender or intragender? During all the conversations, I have come to these questions. And of course, I was perceiving that these are the questions which may be posed to the audience, to the speakers by the audience. The third one is how to create a synergetic model to create a 50-50 level of contributions in individual, society, and institution building. The fourth one is who had to be held responsible for this? Political, cultural, religious, or something else? Fifth one is, do we really need to start a movement for this? As Hazel Herrington is heading it, and of course, we must work out to make it a mission and a movement, global mission and a movement, under the aegis of Hazel Herrington, as well as in collaboration with the International Academy of Entrepreneurship and Employability. And so Do we need to create some kind of global pressure groups beyond what UN is doing, any government is doing, any corporate body is doing, or NGO is doing? And last but not least, what are the most critical areas of concerns due to due to these biases and barriers in women leadership? Is it emancipation? Is it empowerment? Is it equality? Is it betterment or inclusion? That's it. Thanks a lot, ladies. Thank you. Over to Hazel.
Thank you so much, Vijay. Those are interesting questions. They're also questions that we need to think about. Is that where do we go from here? Is this just lip service and then we just end this conference and move in our own directions? I was actually thinking of having a conference where we have the ladies speaking in person, because you've got so much to share to the world, and not only online, but I see these same women, traveling globally and speaking on massive platforms. And I will definitely be doing that and inviting you. So can we have just 3 ladies answering some of those questions for 1 minute? Anybody want to answer those questions? Yes, Hilda?
I think, we all know that, this theory that a leader is not born but made. So we cannot say that these are biological barriers, but they're definitely man-made. And like I also said, that there are intricacies of factors, socio-economic, cultural factors that result in these barriers. And also, like what Monifa said, it's also internal barriers, mindsets that are a result of, probably as women, why are we sort of like a bit left behind? So we definitely need to do a lot of work.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Sarah?
Yeah,
Hey, so many great questions that I would love to answer. One of them, though, is the recognition that because we're talking about power and influencing change, it's very hard for those with power to give up their power if they're going to miss out. So I think what we need to also be thinking about is how we define good decision making, because so those in these positions, they don't want to let go of their power. Their pie is defined. And what I think we as women are saying is that it doesn't have to be what we base our decisions on. And it's redefining what it is to make good decisions, that it is about, hey, it's not you giving up power and me gaining it. It's about all of us collectively being uplifted. So we need to change the narrative, the story around what it means to be engaging in diverse decision making.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sarah. And I can see a few ladies need to leave from what I'm seeing. And then we'll end with Kathy. Kathy will end up with the answer. That'll be the last answer to the question. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you. Vijay, you raised some incredibly valid points. But one of the things, and I think a few of the ladies actually shared, is as children, we are raised, in different environments. But the one thing that is a common is that all children actually have the belief that they can do anything, that they can be everything, and they have the ability to actually take risks. It's us that actually hold them back. So if we are going to be part of the changes that we all want to see in the world, it is to actually continue to instill what children are actually born with, and actually make that a point of influence where they create impact on a global basis. We are all talking about things about humanity, not about self. And so the more that we can actually model that and actually collaborate and unite, then we are actually championing the cause that we genuinely want to see. And I think it really is as simple as that. I don't think we need to complicate it. Whenever we stop and pause to actually talk with someone, be in their presence, appreciate them for who they are, and acknowledge their point of genius, because you sit in a different place to them. So it's actually about acceptance and about elevating, whether they're in the room with you or not. And I know that Hazel does that, and I am sure, even though I have not experienced firsthand, the women on this forum, except for actually I have Linda and Karen, I have a relationship with, but it is about when they're not present, it is about giving their actual voice and elevating them. And so if we do that as a collective, we will see the changes. So it's up to us, VJ. We can all do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathy. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our conference, but I want to leave you with this, with what Sarah said, and it was meant to be for Sarah to close the session. She talked about us coming together. She said, let's solve this problem together. So now we are speaking to the men leaders around the world to say, let us come together on this issue. Let us create platforms where we can discuss this, cultural barriers, stereotyping of women. And I'd like to see us have a conference where we have half of the speakers are male and half are female. And we are going to do that. Herrington Publications Worldwide is going to do that because we want to get the men involved. And another thing Sarah said, she says, we don't have to be perfect. Ladies, let us be our true, authentic self. We don't need to be perfect. We don't need to be competing with one another. We should be lifting up one another in everything that we do to create more leaders and for us to obtain those positions of leadership. And the last thing she said, we can choose to use these barriers as opportunities. Where there's a problem, there's an opportunity. So let's take these opportunities together. Like Jules said, let's promote one another. Let's mention another woman's name. So today, make it your mission. Those that are watching and those that were speaking, all of our speakers, mention a woman's name today. Elevate her, connect with somebody else. And then this conference wouldn't have been a waste of time. Once again, thank you very much to all the speakers. VJ, thank you for partnering with me on this event. And have a good night, good morning for those that are starting the day. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you all. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you
Take care,
so
Hazel.
much. Bye-bye.
Thank
Stay
you.
connected.